So now that we've created a few projects using photo correction, the clone stamp and the healing brush, we're going to do one last project. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a famous monument that exists and we are going to make it disappear. So this is a student example of one student doing that. When it's time for you to turn in your project, I prefer to see it as a looping animation like this. And the way how this is created is one layer is the original layer, which shows the monument. For this, it's the Statue of Liberty. And then the second layer is the one that you would use the clone stamp and healing brush on. And then you would have two layers, and that would be your looping GIF. If you do not want to do a looping GIF, then you would have to turn in two JPEGs. One, which is unedited. For this, it would be the Statue of Liberty. And then the second one would be the sky without the Statue of Liberty showing. So you would have to turn in two JPEGs or one GIF for this project. So to get started, I'm going to read the information that's here, and it says for me to go ahead and open up this monument document. And for this project, what I need to do is I need to search for an image of a monument. For this project, we are erasing the monument from the photo. Make sure to use the skills that you've just learned. For instance, you may search for the Statue of Liberty and then use the clone stamp to erase it from the image. Be creative with this project and make sure to pay attention to the directions on saving, which I just spoke to you about. So it says search and save an image for the famous monument. If you're not sure how to do it, you can watch the Saving the Photoshop Logos video, which is here, and then I am also creating a video right now for you guys to see how to save as well. This just shows you how to find that highest res image. So I started to search for famous monuments in the world, and I wasn't sure which one it was that I wanted to work with. So I typed this whole thing. Now I'm clicking on images, and I can go through and look at the different monuments that are out there and find one that I would like. I like the idea of this image because I have this mountain background here and then the sky here. So I think that this would be interesting. So I'm going to click on this image and I'm going to right click on it, save image as. And remember, we want our image size to be about 800 to 1200. This is just shy of 800, so that's okay to work with. I'm now going to do desktop. And then I'm going to go to my folder, which is here. And then I'm going to name it my last name, which is Farrell. And we're naming this one Monu, which is monument. And I'm pressing save. Down here, I click on this and it automatically launches into Photoshop. So now that I'm inside Photoshop, I have my history. I'm going to actually click and drag this so it's part of this window over here. So I can close this out and then I have more of a better view. And then remember, we're going between the clone stamp and the healing brush. But before we get started, it's really important that we go to our layers menu and then we duplicate the layer. For this project, we're going to need two layers. The top layer is to erase the monument and the bottom is just going to be the original image. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to right click, duplicate layer, and I'm going to say edit this layer to kind of help remind me. And I'm going to double click on the background and I'm going to name this one original. Another good reason why we want to do it this way is if we really mess up on this top layer here, I could just simply delete it and try again by doing duplicate layer. Okay. So I am going to get started with my clone stamp. I think for this project, a soft edge is good because my background is soft and blurry. If I was doing something that was in focus, like a city or clouds, then I might want to use a hard edge. So again, I'm pressing and holding that Alt key, and I'm clicking here, and then I am starting to cover up this area. I don't know what the mountain looks like back there, so I'm just going to go over it like this now. And then do you see there's a ridge here? So I'm going to alt click on this ridge and get that ridge to kind of fade into the background there. Again, there's some mountain trees here. Looks almost like smoke. Okay, so again, every time you see that cursor show up on my screen, it's doing an alt click. This is a little harsh here, so I'm going to Control plus, switch to my healing brush, which is a J, use my brackets to make it match the size of that problem, and I'm just going to kind of use the healing brush to blend this a little bit so it looks like it's fading into the background. Control 0, fit to screen. And up here, I'm going to do the hard edge, because this is a hard edge. Do you see that? And I am clicking around because I'm trying to find a light white. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my soft edge, and I'm going to alt click here. And because this is a gradient, this is darker up here and it fades to light, so I always want my plus sign to be perfectly in the exact same spot of the gradient. So again, if this is where the gradient needs to be, then I am working right there and bringing that over. And now I'm going to go back and do the clone stamp. All right, so now I am going to use that space bar and move around if my computer will let me. And zoom out a little, and I'm just going to kind of continue to tweak. So I'm working a lot faster, right, than I want you to. So make sure that you are taking your time on this. This is creating a harsh line here, so I'm using that healing brush. Control 0. Now down here where the crowd is, that would be something else that I would want to work on as well. So I would come down here and I would add that too. I don't want to make this video too long for you guys today. So I just wanted to give you a quick little overview of what it is that I'm asking. And then as you can see here, this is before and after. And I'm noticing that there's still some areas here that do need to get cleaned up. Once I've finished everything, I would do a window, timeline, create video timeline, click on the 3 squares. I'm changing this to 0.5 seconds. Yours can be a little longer if you would like. And then I'm going here and it says, make frames from layers. I have 2 frames. I have 2 layers. And I'm going to make this 1.5. I'm going to loop it forever and I'm going to press play. And there's my looping GIF. Again, I'm not done. I would work more on this foggy area over here, this foggy area here, and then I would copy and paste the people that are standing around here to start getting people to stand behind that. I probably would even, now that I'm looking at it, I might even make this a hard edge where this stand is instead of a soft edge, okay? Now that I like this and I'm ready to save for a grade, I do save for web. I press save. And I'm in my folder. I press save. And I'm all set. I also would want to do a file save as. Make sure it's Photoshop because we have 2 layers. Again, I'm in my folder and I would save that as well. So that's how you would save the project. That's how you would save your GIF. And these are all of the directions that we've already been talking about. So these are the exact same copy and paste directions from the black and white images and the color images that you worked with before. Use your brackets to match the size of your problem. Use your crosshair to find that area that is not damaged to cover up the monument. And then these are the directions on how to turn in your project. So you can either turn in 2 JPEGs, first showing the monument, second one with it erased, or you can turn in as a GIF, which has the 2 frames, the first one showing the monument and the second erased. And of course that's looping. And that is your project.